a non-profit organization, and our goal is to bring a blockchain technology and knowledge to people. So people can use it and use it in their lives and also use it in their career. Right now we focus on just normal people, on everybody. Of course we have a focus on females, as you see that. For the reason, because females right now we believe are not very well represented in the blockchain world. It's not true for Bahamas, by the way, because look around the room. It's an insane amount of women here, and I'm so glad about it. Yeah, and I talked yesterday to some of you, and you told me that in Bahamas women are so powerful. So we would like to enhance that, and we would like to empower men as well here. So what we're doing, we are providing education. Right now we're focusing on providing education to those who want to become a blockchain developers. And for those who want to start their companies, their blockchain companies, their startups. We have an online courses already open up for Bahamas here. We have a website. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later toward the end of my presentation. But right now, I would like to deliver you the content that we teach all blockchain beginners, right? Blockchain 101. It never hurts. I know that most of you right now already after 2 days, or 1.5 days, you know what blockchain is. And we had an amazing panels yesterday where people actually were standing up and telling their version of the blockchain, what the blockchain is. It was excellent answers. I'm going to provide mine. Okay, so this is my objective number 1 for this. And objective number 2 is to tell you why do we trust blockchain, why we should trust blockchain. Because there was many talks about it, and Michael this morning, he talked about how blockchain enables us to trust each other. But how come do we even trust the system? Why? And that's my objective number 2. I'm going to tell you why. So without further ado, what is a blockchain? One word. It is a database. As simple as that. I hope you all know what the database is. Database, database is a structured set of data that's stored on a device, usually it's on the computer or on the server. Emails, for example. Your emails, it's a database. Facebook, it's a database. The great example related to blockchain, it's a bank database, right? So we all know that banks, they have their own databases. Usually it's one database that's stored on one server located in a secure building. Of course, they have many backups and everything, so it wouldn't fail. But nevertheless, it's a one single computer where this database is stored, and this belongs to one single entity, to the bank, let's say. So with the blockchain, it's different. Blockchain is a decentralized database. What does that mean? It means this database, same database, stored not on one computer, but on thousands and thousands of them spread all over the world. That's what it is. So, and this is the power of it. Because this is not the one computer that's stored in a bank. We all know that blockchain is very much, even the first blockchain, Bitcoin, is the financial system, and we're going to be talking about it further. How many times I lost money because I stored my money in a bank? Any guesses? 3 times. 3 times I lost all my money. I'm from Russia, okay? So maybe Russia is even worse than Bahamas. Okay? So 3 times banks it's either license that got taken away, or it's the crisis. The crisis that hit Russia in 1998. I was pregnant with a child, and my husband lost the job, and we lost all the money in the bank. So that's how I did it. And it happened to me 3 times. For people in the developed world, this scenario is kind of science fiction. But the rest of the world has actually lived through it, and I did too. And this is why, for me personally, this system is so powerful, because this is not one database that's stored in a single building. This is all stored in the people's computer, so it does not belong to anyone, but at the same time belongs to everyone. And I already gave it away, but who has this? Who owns these computers? Well, of course, smart guys, as we all know that, but not as smart. Kids, grandmothers, anyone. It can be anyone. It can be any one of you. All you need to do is to just download the program from the internet. And voila, you are the blockchain owner. You're the owner of the node. For example, this blockchain, right? So this is Bitcoin. I'm going to be focusing a lot about Bitcoin today, because this was the very first system, very fascinating system, and I know there is a lots of rumors around it, and it's stigma, and it's maybe bad, and everything like this. We focusing on the technology, so not on all the bad sides of the cryptocurrency. Again, technology is given to people. People make it good or bad. They make any choices, okay? So our job is tell you what the technology is, and after that, you decide what to do with it, good or bad. Hopefully good. So this is, you download the program from the internet. This is how it looks like in your file system. You have complete access to it. You can go into files, you can read them. The only thing, you cannot record anything in there. Not because you don't have access, you have access. It's just because the system is so very well protected that only certain programs, certain people can write to it. And these people are minors, and we're going to be talking about them. The system itself never been hacked so far. And this is what's fascinating about that. And I work in the software industry for a long time. I've been a Microsoft developer for 25 years now. And I put the systems into production. I worked for Edmonton Police many years. And that's actually how I know why decentralized systems are very dangerous. Because I worked in Edmonton Police. I had access to everything, right? So to all people's records, I could change them. If I worked in a bank, maybe that's the same case, right? So I could change them. And not that I'm a bad person, but at the gunpoint, you can do anything. So this blockchain system actually eliminates that human intervention. There's nobody to hold at the gunpoint here. All these computers all over the world are connected with each other. Any guesses what are they connected with? Thank you, sir. Yes, they're all connected by internet. Very obvious, right? At this point, I'm going to ask you the question, how do you think we can destroy a blockchain? Because this is like hypothetically. Let's say that I'm, president of one of the countries, and I'm just kind of rule my people. You cannot use blockchain anymore, otherwise. Anyway, so can you notice the difference? I'll do it again. Anyway, so. Blockchain wouldn't notice a difference either, I don't blame you, yeah? So what's going to happen to blockchain if some country or some countries will prohibit it? Well, nothing. And just imagine, they all connected by internet, and of course internet, and they need internet providers, they need power, they need electricity, yes. And I have one scenario how we can destroy it. For example, this. Yeah. In this case, by the way, we have much bigger problems than blockchain. But only if one computer survives, we still have it. That's the power of it. Okay, so I want you to all to understand the power, and I will be going more about inside blockchain right now. But this is really great. This is what blew me away many years ago when I started learning about it, and hopefully you appreciate it too. All right. So what is inside the blockchain? Michael Casey this morning, he talked about it really well, and I don't need to explain it anymore. You all learned it, that this is a transaction ledger, right? So this is the transaction, the money, currency transferring from one account to another, right? So there's many accounts, money's going between accounts, and this is a list of the ledger. You know, if you go shopping, you write down this, like I spent this many cents on eggs, and I got this salary, this many, and this is the ledger, just of the ledger of the transactions. And I'm talking about Bitcoin because other blockchains has all different flavors, but this is what Bitcoin in essence is. And this is not just the money that they transfer, not the money maybe how we understand it, it's a cryptocurrency. What is a cryptocurrency? So cryptocurrencies is a digital money that is stored on a blockchain and protected by cryptography. That's how they named cryptocurrency, because they're protected by cryptography. And right now I'm going to give you a little cryptographic lesson. Because there are people, when they say, oh, cryptography, what is that? What the hell is that cryptography? I don't understand, I can never understand. Well, you will in a second. So I took the word crypto and I applied just a simple inversion cryptographic algorithm. Don't be scared of the words, just see the word inversion. All right, so, and on the right side, I got a cryptographic hash, the result. So do you see what it does? It just inverted on my letters the other way, and on the right side, I got a cryptographic hash of the word crypto. Well, in Bitcoin, it's very, very similar. It just except it uses the secure hashing algorithm 256. And what it does, it converts this word crypto into a string of seemingly random letters and numbers. And that's what it is. And that's what it used in Bitcoin to protect the data. And it takes only, like less than a second, just a moment to convert it really fast operation. But the power of it, if I were a hacker, of course I want to reverse engineer and see like, oh, what does this information means, right? Well, it's kind of complicated because in order to convert it back, it takes that many seconds. And like, what the hell is that number? Well, I don't know myself, I took it from the book, but I know that many seconds passed since the beginning of our universe. You can do the comparison, right? So the hacker who wants to hack it better live, long and prosperous life. All right, so coming back again, transaction ledger that is stored inside this blockchain database. So there are certain numbers that are attached to the account that we get issued. So we got issued the account when we download this program from the internet, and this should be the wallet flavor program. And we get an account assigned to us. But actually, we got the primary key. That's what it means, that this again, seemingly random string of letters and numbers assigned to us. This is kind of like our identification of our money in the blockchain, of our account in the blockchain. You need to protect, once you get it, you need to protect it with all your heart and everything. Because this key on the top right corner means that you own your money. Whoever has your private key owns your money. That also comes the questions about the different exchanges, because some of the exchanges, they don't provide you private key. It means they have it. It means they own your money. So there was a Mt. Gox question here, right? If you would own your private key, would you give your money to Mt. Gox? Would you need to? You wouldn't need to, right? That's why, but people participating in this network, everybody has private keys. Exchanges, let's say, right? So they all hold accounts. Some of them, they release money to you. Some of them, they hold like banks, right? They act like a bank. That's what you have to be careful with. They are just the businesses, nothing to do with the blockchain. When they hacked, it's not blockchain that hacked. Very important to understand that difference. Hold your private key close to your heart. Hacker cannot get to it unless you give it to them, because your private key is also protected by the cryptography. So using the cryptography, again, from the private key, we can calculate the public key and then calculate the account number. Usually you give to people your account number to transfer money to. It's not possible to calculate it back, not with the modern technology. So that's why when you give an account number, you're not uncovering anything. Well, rather than access to the information to your account, but hackers cannot transfer money. But if the hacker gets a hold of your private key, that's it. You don't own your money anymore. Somebody else does. That's because cryptographic signatures is the first level of protection in a blockchain. It means that nobody can spend money from your account unless they have your private key. That comes from the protection number 1 of the blockchain, that each transaction has to be signed with a private key. It means that in order to spend money from the account, you need to have a private key, otherwise this transaction will be invalid. Okay, so nobody can spend money from your account unless they have your private key, because a cryptographic signature of each transaction. I know maybe that's complicated, but the rule is nobody knows your private key except you. Second level of protection is actually in creating a record in this database. So I mentioned that the miners are creating the records. How do they do it? So the transactional information is not stored in one list, like it says here, right? It's stored in blocks, in a blockchain. And miners, the ones who are building that blocks. So every few minutes, they take all the pending transactions and they record it into blockchain database, because these transactions are not in a blockchain yet. So once you transfer your money, these transactions just get into some pool. They take this transaction, they build the blocks and record it into the blockchain database. But it's very fascinating how they do it. And the whole economic model around it, crypto-economic model actually, around it is very fascinating, because this is what makes blockchain live and function on its own and self-regulate on its own. Miner has to do a significant investment in order to make a recording to database, and for this recording, the miner gets a reward, but not always. Miner makes a significant investment only for a chance, because in a network there are lots of miners. Miners are also the programs that people download from the internet. You can download, you can become a miner. You can earn money, we can start doing that. It's not that easy though, because of this significant investment piece. And significant, I mean hundreds, thousands of dollars. Probably to earn money, you need millions of dollars to invest. How does that work? So there is lots of miners in a network. They want to all make money. They make money when they build this block. When they take this transaction, they build the block, they record it into this database. All they need to do is actually to create a cryptographic hash of these transactions that are in the block. This is all they're doing. But you remember, it takes only like less than a second to do this hash, right? Because we did the cryptographic lesson. So, you say like, oh, then it's easy. Well, it's not, because there is this magic number called a blockchain difficulty rule. For Bitcoin, a blockchain difficulty rule right now states that hash has to start with 18 zeros. So whatever you do, resulting hash has to have 18 zeros. So the miner is actually required to add some number to this block information. So the resulting hash would be 18 zeros. If it was easy to reverse engineer, then it would be no problem. But it takes modern universe to reverse engineer. That's why miners play in a guessing game. So what they do, they say, okay, I add 0. Let's see what hash we get. Oh, 3 zeros in front. I'm doing better. 1. 6 zeros, much better. And so on. And then, oops, no zeros. And then 123, not yet. And so on and so forth. Miners are guessing and guessing and guessing. And when it's end? Okay, so right now, that's it. So at some point, miner gets this hash that has 18 zeros in front that blockchain accepts. And whoever from the miners get it first and record it to database, that's the person who gets the reward. And that's why, have you ever tried to guess the combination lock? How did it go? I tried. Anyways, but that's what miner does. This is the closest analogy what miner does. They guessing and guessing this combination lock. For this, they need so much more powerful computers than the others just to loop through all these combinations. And that's why they invest in all this equipment to do it. And this is called proof of work. So miners have to prove to the system that they did so much work for this block creation. Okay, so this is called proof of work. And everybody from them, they all do it over and over and over again. And only one of them gets it. And only then again, one of them gets it. Okay, so that's how the system works. After investing millions of dollars into that, would they cheat? I guess not. Because, who invests millions of dollars and wants to risk to lose it, right? So that's the beauty of the crypto economic model that built into the blockchain, and this is the heart of it, and this is how it lives. This is also the really great protection, but this is protection number 2. I have 2 more to go. And by the way, this is how when the new block in Bitcoin get built, new cryptocurrency got created. So right now for the block, the reward for the miner is 12.5 Bitcoin. So if you multiply it to the price of the Bitcoin, it's quite a fair amount of money, right? Not, of course, not as much as they would invest into this one, but it creates some profit for some of the miners. Right? So you can calculate, there is the systems who calculate, which cryptocurrency, which mining is still profitable, and how much money you need to put into it in order to be successful. But this system works. It means that it's still profitable. It means that miners are still participating in it. It's still worth it. At the beginning, by the way, Bitcoin reward was 50 Bitcoin per block. Every 210,000 blocks, it get halved. So it's get halved. So it was 50. Then after 200,010 blocks, it become 25. So now it's only 12.5. And so on and so forth. The supply amount of Bitcoin will be less and less and less and less. So no new cryptocurrency will be created. And then we only will be left with the amount that's circulating. I think it was year 2040 or something like that, so we still have time. After that, Bitcoin doesn't die, of course, but I will explain later why. Third level of protection. I hope I didn't lose you yet. blocks, they all connected to each other. So they are not on their own. And that's the third level, because in each block, there is an information from the previous block. You know this hash, these seemingly random letters and numbers? It's embedded in each subsequent blocks. It means that the hacker, the bad guy, if he wants to change some information, let's say in the first block, oh boy, he needs to recalculate all the hashes over and over again. And remember how much money miners spend for that? Well, a hacker must be really, really rich. Live long, really rich. That's why this is the third level, and that's why it works. And that's why this makes it's a blockchain, right? So this is a chain of blocks. They all connected to each other. If you change one, you have to change all subsequent ones. And in essence, blockchain is a transaction ledger that looks like a chain. Transaction fees. When I was studying it, and especially when I came across the term gas, oh my God, like, I'm a blonde, I can't even load my car with the gas. And here's another gas. And then I thought, wow, transaction fees, like how come? Because this system does not belong to anyone. Well, I mean, I understand transaction fee from the banks, right? So they need to leave their businesses, right? But how come blockchain has a transaction fees? Aren't they supposed to be free for people? But apparently there are bad people who are spamming networks. I still cannot understand why would they do it, like why somebody would just overload the network so they just fall down. Like the servers, for example, even they spam servers fall down. Why do they do it? I don't get it. Maybe it's a competition, I don't know. But anyways, there are people like that, you would be surprised. And that's protection from the people like that. So this is level 4 of protection. Transaction fee is a protection from the spammers. Because if the spammer wants to spam the network and create many transactions, you know, I have 2 accounts, I can transfer money from one account to another very easily. And creating million transactions, I will bring the network down, actually, because the network will still have a threshold and cannot hold some number of transactions at some point. But if I need to pay for each transaction, well, I will think twice. And I'm probably not going to do it. So this is level 4 protection from the spammer. So when you build your applications on the blockchain and you have these transaction fees and you have your gas and everything like that, it's there for a reason. It is not a bad thing. This is another security thing that's been put into it. And as I said, I've been working in software industry for a long time now, and I've put lots of applications in. I work for police, so we put the very critical application into production, which protects life of the officers. So very, very important. But I can tell you, working in software industry and working with the good people, many times, system after 24 hours being launched, it's kind of falls apart, which is very fascinating case for the Bitcoin, for example, for the blockchain. So people who put it together, put it into production, and it still works. Since 2007, when there were some minor bugs here and there, which needed to be fixed, but nothing major. It didn't fall down. It's still working, still popular, and we're here in this room to talk about it 11 years later, right? So this is truly fascinating for me. And last but not least, so this is nothing to do with the protection. This is the openness of the blockchain. There are, of course, different flavors of the blockchain, but we're talking about Bitcoin right now. So all this information that recorded in there, all the transactions, everything that money transferred from one account to another, you can see them all pretty openly anyways. There's tons of browsers developed. So I just took it from one of them. And besides, remember, this database is stored on your computer. You can go inside and look yourself. So this is the list of all the blocks, and actually all the transactions. And if you go inside transaction, you can see which account the money comes from and which account that it goes to. Doesn't have any names, but it has account numbers. So in terms of the traceability and openness, anyone can see it. Maybe in some cases this is not good. But we can always find the cases when it's good and when we want to see where our money went. A little bit history lesson. So that was the technology lesson and now history, if you're not bored yet. Okay, Bitcoin was created in 2009 as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So basically just to replace the banks. And it was created by Satoshi Nakamoto. And I have a picture of Satoshi here. Oops. Uh-oh. I went somewhere far. Okay. Well, of course, this is not a picture of Satoshi. I don't know who Satoshi is, and nobody does, though some people claim that they do. But I actually have, like, one of my colleagues said, he must be an alien. Because imagine, create this system that works for everybody, that's still working since 2009 without any problems, that people invest into, that people build on, and then people use, and then also not spending any money that he earned from it. This must be an alien. Anyway, so we don't know who Satoshi is. And we know that lots of people, they came forward and claimed that they were. They were kind of proven that they were not, and we're still watching the accounts that we know Satoshi used to mine first Bitcoins, and the account's still untouched. So there's all kind of rumors around it. So the truth is we don't know who it is. And that's why I think I declare that that was aliens who helped us. Or maybe people from the future. Right, that's how the system was created. I told you that it was created with in mind to remove the bank from people's transactions, right? So because not the banks are bad, banks are great, right? So the banks provide us great service and everything like that. But in some regions of the earth, people don't have access to the banks, which is great case for them when they can transfer and pay each other without involving some, infrastructure being there, without relying on some infrastructure being there, without relying that banks are not open after 5 p.m. So this system is great because of that. So that's what Bitcoin was all about. It's a financial system to provide people to pay each other without the bank. Ethereum. The next one I want to mention to you, this is a blockchain that right now is second popular, right? So maybe price-wise too. It was created in 2015 by Vitalik Buterin, and we know that Vitalik is not an alien, that he's a very special kid, but he's not an alien for sure, we know him. So he does exist, right? So, so this system is kind of like enhanced Bitcoin. So it's not a payment system, though it can be. But this system, which was a smart contract and decentralized application platform, is actually providing a service to people to deal with each other without the third party, and this third party is not a bank. I'll explain. So we all deal with each other, for example, if I need to, there was a really great example from Matt yesterday. So he said, if I need to pay a lawyer, and lawyer needs to deliver me something, then lawyer actually can wait for a year and not pay me. But if I had somebody, some kind of judge, that would say, you know what, you didn't pay him, now you owe me the penny. And that judge would be not it would be the computer code. That's what it is. That's what the smart contract is. It's a computer code. So we can program, for example, whatever circumstances I need so the lawyer can get the money after providing me a service, right? So lawyer would provide the service. Smart contract will just say, okay, this is check, check, check. Okay, money released. All right, so, and the smart contract can be programmed. So this is a computer program that looks like this. So all certain rules that can be programmed, and if all these certain rules are true, then money is released. So this is just one of the examples. For example, if even like the lawyer, right? Lawyers perform certain functions, and in simple cases, we can all deal with each other without the lawyers. We don't need to, call the lawyer for, I don't know, if I want you to sell my piece of something and then you give me money or you give me something in return, right? So of course, it would be great to have lawyers all the time that deal between us, but sometimes we just cannot afford it or don't have an access to it. So the pieces of code that is between us come really, really handy, and that's what the smart contracts are. And of course, as I said, bank systems, so the banks also can be eliminated by Ethereum, or I mean, like, as a third party, not eliminated by Ethereum. This is not what I said. Yes, so yes, the Ethereum can be used as a payment system as well. Yeah, and right now it's used. I know that people are paying each other with Ethereum. I pay for some of my services with Ethereum and with Bitcoin. So there are companies that accept it, so that it can be used as a payment system. But it can also eliminate the third party that we need to deal with, and make it a peer-to-peer transaction. Okay, that's what the purpose of the system is. And a little bit about us. So what we do. This smart contracts code that you see, we teach that. We use our partners. So right now, we are providing an online education. And for this online education, we use our partners, so bloggeeks.com. They opened up courses for our audience for free. And we also have another partners that we use, our sponsors and the partners that provide us an educational content. Everything is online, so you don't need to be anywhere in the class. Though we are opening the chapters all over the world where we do bring people in the class if they have questions and they need the mentorships, because we have also lots of mentors that work with us. We also do a hackathons, which is maybe not already correct term anymore, because hackathon, it's not where you go and code, and not where you go and you have to know the coding. No. We have a different systems in the hackathons. I'm going to tell you about it a little bit later. We also try not to leave our students after we educated them, because we also put them into the startup and incubator programs that we right now partner with the different programs, and we also have partners who provide us with employment opportunities for our students. People here are in the blockchain business, and you know how much blockchain developers worth, right? Recently I talked to, and they said to me, well, maybe $200 an hour, right? So that's the rate that they actually agree to pay to blockchain developer. We educate them. We want to bring more blockchain developers into this world because the technology needs it. We need more. We need to improve the system. We need to bring it in the developing worlds as well. So because when people cannot afford here to pay $200 an hour for the developer, right? So you need to grow your own, and that's what we do. So right now we have a website open, bahamas.cryptochicks.ca. You can register right away on that, so that's pretty open. So we are planning a hackathon event in December this year. Hopefully we can get the venue and everything. So right now I have an ambassador in NASO that works with some hotels that provide us. So if you have any proposals to me where we can hold the event, that would be great. I can listen to that. So as I said, so we have the extensive online courses from the Blog Geeks and also webinars from our partners. When you go to the website, I will have all the program listed, like everything, all the courses there. And we constantly put in new ones on, so stay tuned. During the hackathons, we not only provide you space and the food, we also provide a mentorship program. So we bring in mentors. For Bahamas, probably we'll have challenges. So if there are local people who knows how to program on a blockchain, who knows how blockchain businesses work, who can help us, please reach out to me as well. It would be great for you to get your help. And in return, of course, we will give you access to all our students that we have. So we also do the presentation coaching. You know, how people, today the pitches, they were presented excellently, right? But the new people who come into our system, they don't know how to do it. And some of their project got missed by judges just because the presentation was not good. So we're teaching them how to present as well. So we also building the teams. People come to us. Sometimes it's just, you know, a girl alone and she doesn't know what to do. So we put her in a team with, you know, other girls, guys, and everything. We also have workshops from our partners that online and on site. And yeah, so for the last hackathon, we used public voting. So usually on the hackathons, when you go, it's sometimes very subjective, and judges have their own opinions. So we actually had audience chance to vote using the blockchain. It was really cool because we displayed the results right away. So they voted on their phones, we displayed the result right away because blockchain, everything is open, right? So results got in a second, and you saw who voted for who, and that was so great. Also, prize money, we usually, we don't charge for the program, right? So we usually leave on the sponsorships. So if you would like to sponsor our program, because this is a great program, if you'd like to sponsor, provide the prize money, this is a great publicity for you, it's for the good, please contact us. And of course, it's fun and it creates future opportunities for everybody. So in the hackathons, we have, as I promised you to tell, so that we don't only have developers there to develop their applications, though we have a fair amount of those. We also have people who want to build the businesses on a blockchain but don't know where to start, how to get there. So we train them as well. And during this hackathon, they actually practice with their business. They build the whole business model on how they will be financing it, if they will be doing an ICO or not, how, like all these ins and outs. So they are practicing their business right at the hackathon. And the good thing that they have mentorships at the hackathons, mentors who can tell them whether they right or wrong. And this is a great learning opportunity for everybody. And we also start having a legal tracks in New York. In October, we have a hackathon. We opened the legal track first time because there's lots of regulations that come right now, and people don't know them. So what we do, we bring actually lawyers, students, they can read legal documents. Not all of us can read legal documents. I can't. I get bored after first page. But they actually can. And they can read them, they can interpret them, they can put their businesses around them, they can teach people on actually why they did this business this way. So the business would be fully compliant with a regulation. My clicker behaving. All right. So, and also, the good thing about the hackathon that we did in Toronto this year, so we did not restrict our participants to be in a place that we did hold the hackathon. Though there's certain, of course, advantage when you're there, when you're with each other. It was so great to have this spirit and be all together. But the hackers who could not travel, they actually hacked from their homes. So we put them on the screen so we could see them. They hacked, and they also were judged. They were presenting right on a Zoom.